topic for today is, do you like or / love your work? And there's two reasons I wanted to talk about this today. First of all is, well, there's two clear definitions. You either do or you don't. Okay? We're going to focus on the yes side of the pendulum, if you'd like to call it that, first. Okay? You either do or you don't. If you do, the answer is yes. And why is that important? Obviously, I think as coaches or in any work or line of work that you do, you need to reflect on why it is you're doing what you're doing. Okay? Go back to your why. And then for us as a business, obviously we want coaches that like, love, are passionate about what they do. So we want to make sure that we're helping you guys to do your job, and then you guys are giving it back, obviously, to the business as well. So I want to get, I think I've got everyone's name down there that's here, apart from Laura. Sorry, Laura. One reason why you like / love your job. Rob. People? Yeah. George?
It's fun.
It's fun. Tom?
Lifestyle.
Minister?
Keeps me active.
Keeps you active. Lloyd? Flexibility. Ricky? Passion. Boz? Make people smile, yeah. Ben? Seeing improvement. Marcus? Laura?
Jamie?
Sorry?
You?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'd say, well, probably for me is flexibility and helping people. Work my own hours. I don't have to be in the office at X and leave at Y. Okay, so for the most, except for me, because I went last, unless you were just picking something that wasn't already up there, there's 9 differences as to why you guys like your jobs. Now, if I was to get you to write a list of 5, there'll probably be some crossovers, okay? But all fairly good and common examples of why we do our jobs, okay? Survey by Gallup last year, they did 1,000 people in 128 countries, and the top 3 countries that had their biggest job satisfaction were those 3. This one I kind of understand. This one I'm not sure if they were just told to do it, and obviously the last one's a little bit surprising as well for me personally. However, they classified obviously how they were satisfied in their job, and I've just taken the top, obviously the satisfied half. 58% find their job as being good, and 12% find their job as being great within the UAE, out of those 1,000 people. It's not a massive sample in comparison to some of the populations. However, that leaves 30% that are on the other side of that in terms of the population that we deal with on a weekly or daily basis. So, and we all know there's people that are unhappy in their jobs, and for whatever reason they stay inside that job. So when we flip to the other side, the no part, okay, they can do something about it. What are the sort of things that they can do if they don't like their jobs, or if they don't like their job? Okay, there's definitely a why, but what can they do about it if they don't like it? Change? Yeah. Change, resign. What did you say? Did you say that?
I said change as well.
You should change. Anything else?
I think that's a hard one because, like, when I change jobs, obviously,
Yeah.
like you know, with friends at home, and they all know about work, and I just say, like, on WhatsApp, just change like I did.
Yeah.
They'd be like, to what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is an easy thing to say, just change.
Yeah.
But some people, you've got to remember, they've only ever done one thing, they've only ever qualified in one thing.
Yeah.
How do they go about that change?
Yeah, which we're going to go through, which is perfect. Yeah, but that's
Change as well is not just like, okay, you work as an accountant now, go and work as an engineer.
Yeah.
You can still work in accounts, but change has to be internal within the organisation. So you have to understand from your job and your boss, like you guys, if you don't like coaching the kids class, stop coaching the kids class. You get the point. So maybe it's not, I mean, sometimes when we say change, we're like, yeah, just change jobs, but yeah, maybe change, I don't know, whatever you're doing right now. Yeah,
What
that's
they
fine.
would do is that they have to think about money.
so. That's actually a good point.
That's why people don't change jobs, right? Because they're afraid of the lifestyle they have and the security of leaving what is good. I remember like when Mama was still here, she hated her job.
Yeah.
It's miserable. But she's like, no, I can't leave because it's pays for this and that, and I make this much money.
Yeah.
She was always like that.
So if I go back to your why here, and I had that actually written down. If money wasn't an issue, would you be still doing the same thing? Yes? 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 And yes. Good. Right, so you're all in jobs that you like or love to do. Now, I'm not saying that every single day is this, because in reality it's not. Even when you ask that question to people, or the other one is if you do the job you love, you never work a single day in your life. Even people that are at the very top that have all the money are probably the least happiest because of other reasons. So I think generally this needs to be in place. It's not going to happen every day, and I think you need to be realistic about that. And I'll go back to we'll work on your point now, Boz. Anything else? They can change their job, they can change their work, their environment within their particular workplace. Maybe they move to a different department, or maybe their boss leaves and everything becomes okay. So there's certain instances as why this is. And that is probably, if we talk about Lama's case, this is an example, bit of self-reflection on where and what's happening in that particular organization or in that time of your life as to why you don't like it. And if I link this back to what we do on a client side, and again, Boz has already touched on it, most of you probably know more about your clients than the other half of the relationship that they have. Because you spend so much time with them, they're constantly talking to you guys about their life, their work. They're here because 9 times out of 10 they need a change. We're probably the initiator of that change from a fitness perspective, and then you almost become shrinks to a certain extent, the ear to these people about their complaints and their work. And that's why when we go into this thing, you can have something to say about it. Yeah, maybe you need to look at doing something new if that's what you need to do, and the steps that you can go about it. And there's more than these people. There's Ben here, myself, who are good examples of maybe this, transitioning out of something that we weren't really happy with or just wasn't giving us the satisfaction that we wanted in life, and have moved out into something that we obviously love to do. So I know, Minister, what were you doing before you moved to platform? A what? Shipbroker. Jesus. Okay. Shipbroker. Okay, selling ships. Very good. Rob, he was obviously teaching maths. Huh? A what? Optician. Okay. Teaching maths before that. Optician. George?
Initially was a mechanic and then I was a service advisor as well.
Mechanic.
That's my
Oh, fuck, sorry. He was a shoe mechanic. Marcus is sales.
Should be salesman.
Shoe sales.
I used to love my job.
Yeah. And Ben obviously was teaching as well. The shoe returner.
Basketball player.
Ricky was also. Probably these ones are not so sport related. Ricky's almost always been in sport, okay? Without going into too much detail, obviously, 6 or 7 of us sitting around this table have gone through this process. Maybe not in these particular steps, but have gone through the process, okay? So, I'll let these guys talk in a minute, but as far as what they can do to transition out of this, I think there's two options. They're going to go into something that already exists, like a job or a company or workplace that already exists, or they're going to create something of their own that is not existing, that's maybe new to the market or something like that. Okay, and the steps would be very different, although more or less run the same sort of process. So, for example, for all of us that have come into this particular operation, it would have been a little bit of networking, obviously come in, meet Marcus, see how we go and get a feel for the place, go away, and probably in Rob's case, he went away, he did some papers, he's been studying to learn, etc. So when he came into the environment, he hit the ground running. The opportunity to internship and volunteer, and that shows that our internship, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, have come through that program. So from an organizational point of view, it works, but it also gives us and the potential candidate the opportunity and these guys to go out and volunteer, intern in these particular places and find out exactly what they want to do. And then obviously you move forward with the transition. Straight swap. There's no financial commitment from your guys' side or anyone else's side. They just switch straight into that business. Okay? Then there's the other side of the things, which some of us have possibly done as well. I know I have, in terms of it's not existing and it's something completely new. So obviously you need to do your due diligence, research, find a coach, find a mentor, see what's going on if your particular product or whatever concept you're going to bring into the market is going to work to a certain extent. Is there a demand for it? All those sorts of things. From that, you can build a business plan around finances, feasibility, legal, making sure that once it drops into the market that you know you're going to be right for a certain period of time. Test the product. You know, Marcus started on the beach down at X, transitioned into a different place and transitioned to a different place, now to this place. Some people jump gun-ho, but it really depends on that and how much of it you've got and whether you're willing to just put it all on the line. And then once you've tested it and you see, okay, the product works or the concept works within the market, then you need to have all your ducks in line here. And then you're doing this while you're still doing, if you have the opportunity, if you weren't fired or let go, that you do it while you're working alongside your current job. And then from there, once you've got this in order, you build a timeline with some action points, some action plans about when you're going to exit and when you're going to have things up and running. A lot of people, some people do this alongside their job. They don't have to completely quit, but then are they really going to find this? Are they only doing it because they haven't planned here financially to be able to let go of their stability and jump into the other one? And then they can transition over time. I'm not saying this is the only way, but from self-experience and looking around and seeing how this process usually works, that would be something that would be similar. And then you can use for people that come to you and they're saying, look, I'm not happy in my job, okay, is there anything that you can recommend? I'm sure Marcus gets asked all the time. I know on podcasts, every person he speaks to that set up their own business, how did you go about that process? What did you do? And more or less the same answers most of the time, with slight differences. Other than that, it's good to know that this side of the fence, we're all on the same page. Again, reflect, ask yourself why every now and again. If you're having a shit day or things aren't going too well, just go back to your why, and 9 times out of 10 it'll bring you back to why you're actually doing the job that you're doing.
I have a question actually from Rob. If you'd been asked that question at the top, do you love your job or your work, like a year ago, what would your answer have been?
Yes and no.
Thank you.
And why?
Why? I liked working with the kids. I didn't like management or senior leadership team or the policies that were being brought in.
Okay. So this,
Yeah.
however, you're still coaching, teaching.
Yeah, the core essence of teaching, I didn't fall out of love with. It
Yeah.
was the upper levels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mine was there. I would say probably the same answer.
Yeah.
Probably the same answer.
Oh, how do you like coaching?
No, it was different because I was with the younger kids. So I didn't particularly enjoy with the younger kids. It got a bit boring after a while. Simply because you never see, like now I see improvement. Because by the time they were 10, 11, they were moving on to the next school.
To the next teacher.
And I was never actually seeing them grow up kind of thing. Whereas when they're in secondary school, you kind of see them from year 7, you see them turn into adults. You see them improve that way.
Yeah.
So I never got to see that. But also then, same as what Rob said, like when I went to Jen's, it was very, very different.
Yeah. Mindset.
The management side.
Yeah. I think everyone's here is going to be different. Some are just straight. They just figured out that.
Sam's mine would have been a flat roll.
Yeah. Figured out accountancy is not for you. You could just completely 360 switch what you're doing and go back to university or something like that. But a lot of people have the skills to just cross over. It might not necessarily be a complete 360 turn on things, but yeah. Any other questions? No? How many ships did you sell? Huh? That's a secret.
No, a year.
With the companies, whatever ship I brought, like Robert Lee would have to share a certain percentage with the company.
Well, that's not much money.
Yeah.
This was some ships you sell a year.
10 to 15.
A lot of ships.
Oh yeah. It's very risky as well, because then the people who buy the ship, by the time the ship gets to the scrapyard, like depending where the ship is, right, it takes a long time to get there, and the price of the recycling metal changes. If it drops, and then the people who buy the ship will try and help you at the price.
Sell ships and you can sell more.
Oil tankers. Yeah, like scrap.
Big ships.
Yeah.
Big ships. Real ships.
Zodiac.
Yeah.
Right, any other questions? No, that's it for me today.